I love the smell of compost in the morning. Smells like victory. Hey folks, Tip here from the Stupid Gardener, and this is part 5 of our series, Compost Happens. You remember in the last video, part 4, we turned this compost from this bin here into these two bins. And this was filled pretty much to the top, and over a week it has come down a couple of inches. I checked the temperature this morning with our temperature gauge, our compost temperature gauge, and the one here on the left was about 100 degrees, which is active, and the one here on the right was about 110 degrees, which is active also. And I really need this to get this up to 125, 130, if not more, to really get it working. But it is working. It's just working slow. So, and I did throw some kitchen scraps on top there, and I will be topping this off with some browns and filling it all the way to the top. So all that should break down. There's some great worms in there, and they will come up and work on that after all that melts down into there, and it'll be gone within a week. So I am a little bit impatient with this, but you got to learn patience when you're working with a compost pile. So, but in this series, we're just going to talk about turning this and what we need to do, and then we're going to go over and look at the raised garden bed, and we're going to bury some scraps in there also, and get that going for our strawberries and whatnot. But what I wanted to show you is this other compost bin. I bought this, I think it's a Fiskars compost bin, and I bought this probably 5-6 years ago. Used it for about a year. Not that happy with it, only because it's mesh all the way around, and things really do decompose slowly in here. And I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. If you're gonna buy something online, I would buy one of those tumblers or something like that. That's all plastic, and that you can turn by hand just by cranking it. But this is all right. But what I use this for, I just put extra browns in the top here, and I'll flip this thing open so you can see. And I will take all that, and I got some shredded paper in there too. I will take that, and that's what I will top off the compost bins with, and keep it up high, because it'll break down faster in my compost bins rather than this here. And in fact, I really didn't even use this for a couple of years, but then this summertime I had a bunch of extra compost, so I started using this, and now I'm pretty much out. So but this is just where I put extra browns, let them break down for a couple of weeks, and I kind of just throw them on top of the compost. So let's head over here, and I'll show you the raised garden bed. We filled this up a week or so ago, and so I'm going to start burying some kitchen scraps in here, and so we'll kind of talk about that. It's kind of low up on that side, and it's kind of deeper on this side, but that's just the way the yard kind of slopes. So, and I am also in the back here along the fence. I'm going to put another row of pavers there just to keep the dirt off the bottom of that fence, because I don't want it to rot that wood there and have to be replacing all that. But I have some extra block, and I'll probably do that in the next couple of weeks, and just kind of go the whole way down there and kind of top that off a little bit. So let's work on getting some kitchen scraps in there, and we'll see how they do. We'll check on them. So hang tight for a second. Okay, we're back. Like I said, this is Compost Happens, part 5. Don't have my shirt on today because been wearing it about 5 or 6 weeks, and it kind of smelled like a compost. So it's in the laundry, and the wife's is going to wash it today, but I'll have it on next time. It is Saturday. It's about in the low 40s here. Kind of a big change from last weekend when it was in the 70s, but this is normal North Carolina weather for the winter time. Should get almost at the 50s, gets kind of into 30s at night, so but it's kind of rainy. It's going to rain this afternoon, we've had a bunch of rain, like I have said before, so I wanted to get this video in and get it up so everyone sees it. I'm going to be traveling for work. In fact, I leave tomorrow to go up to New Hampshire. My company bought a couple of companies up there, and I got to go up and do some training. So I got to go up for a week, come back for a week, and then go up again. But it will give me the opportunity when I'm in New Hampshire to visit my older brother and one of my favorite sister-in-laws also. So it's work, but I'll have a little bit of time to spend with some family. And when I go up the second time, I'll be able to spend some time with my other brother who lives up there and my other favorite sister-in-law that lives up there. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of work and a lot of travel. I'm not too keen on traveling all that much, but if the company asks you to do something, you know, you got to do it. So let's get back to compost here. And what I did here, I filled this in, like I said, a week or so ago, and I had the cardboard on the bottom, and I want to start enriching this soil as much as I can. So I have some Cool Whip bowls that I filled up this past week, and I kept out 2. These normally would go into my compost pile, but I want to get it in here and get it working. So I'm just going to bury this, and I dug all the way down to the compost, and we only have about 3 inches down to the cardboard that I had layered on the bottom. But when I put this in, hopefully this will bring up some of the worms. I'll get it right on the cardboard, and that'll start breaking down that cardboard and get the worms up, and they'll start working this soil. So I'm going to dump some of this in here, and we'll check this over the next couple of weeks, just like we'll check over there in the garden and see how that's going. The stuff that I buried in the garden's only been in there a week, so we'll probably wait a week or so before we check that and see how that's working. But we'll get this dumped on in here. So now we'll bury that, and also what I did this morning, you see this stump that I'm sitting on. I have like 3 or 4 of these laid out across the lawn, and I usually sit on this when I'm videotaping, but when I move this, I always look underneath, and I grab my little planter here, and I'll look underneath there because there's usually worms that come up, and I will dig down and grab those worms, and I'll throw them in the compost, or I will throw them in the garden. And I picked up 4 or 5 nice good-sized worms here, and I got some soil that they came in, so I got 4 or 5 worms here, and I'm just going to dump this in here along with these kitchen scraps, and they will start eating on that and breaking it down for me. And so I do this every couple weeks. I'll go out and kind of move these logs around. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I got a lot of time on my hands sometimes, and that's what I like to do. So it kind of grosses my wife out. But so, you know, anytime you have, you know, a rock sitting out there and you need worms, man, just pull that up, and you know, worms come up because they love to, you know, to come to the surface and feed and everything, and you just kind of dig them out and, you know, throw them in your garden, throw them in your compost. If you have flowers outside in pots, throw them in there, and they will really feed that soil. It's a lot better than going and buying, you know, all kinds of fertilizer and different things like that. Now, I will warn you just to be careful, because I was digging up some worms in the natural area I have back there, and I was getting some big, fat, juicy worms out of there when I was turning that and everything, and I saw this big juicy worm, and I went to pick it up, and I had it in my hand, and it turned out to be a snake, and it was a baby garter snake. And so I kind of screamed like a girl, and I threw it down. And so just be careful about stuff like that. And you know, some snakes down here in North Carolina are poisonous, so you just got to be careful. But usually snakes, they're all around you. They just, if they feel your vibrations, they are going to take off. So I'm going to dump these worms and this soil I got from underneath some of these logs, and I'm going to put them in here. And we will bury this up, leave a little mound, and we'll check in a couple of weeks, and we'll just see what it looks like. And I'm hoping I don't have to go back to Lowe's and buy more topsoil, but it all depends on that compost and how much that's going to break down. over the next month or so. But you know, sometimes the good Lord likes to teach you patience. And working in the yard and working around the garden, you have to have patience and let things grow and just let things happen. And that's one thing that my beautiful wife always tells me is you got to learn to be patient and just let things happen and not try and work ahead. So that's one thing that working in the yard, working in a garden, that'll teach you to be patient because you know, things just happen slowly. A compost is going to break down slowly. It's not going to break down overnight. You can speed it up, but you just have to be patient. And just going to be more diligent in turning it and everything, and it'll work out. And if I got to go to Lowe's and buy more soil, then I got to go to Lowe's and buy more soil. So like I said, we will keep an eye on this. I'm going to bury this, leave a little mound. We'll come back and check it. And I think every week I'm just going to kind of move down a little bit and just keep putting in my kitchen scraps here and just see how everything is breaking down and feeding the soil. When I was digging down, we got a lot of rain this week, and all that rain we got really got into the soil, and it you know, it feels okay. There's a good mixture in there of you know, some compost that I bought, as well as you know, that cow manure and that topsoil. So it, you know, it looks great. That rain really got down to the cardboard. That's nice and wet. The worms are going to come up and feed on that. And then they're going to come up and find a little prize here with some kitchen scraps, and they will work that down. So just a quick video because I got a lot to do today. I got to fly out tomorrow and want to spend some good quality time with my beautiful wife this evening. We'll go out for a nice meal, and so I will see you on the next one. And if you like the video, please subscribe. We picked up, like, I think 13 subscribers this week, so I appreciate that. And I think we're up to a whopping 26 subscribers, so that's not bad for a couple of weeks. So if you want to subscribe, please do. Like the video, put a comment down below, and I will see you on the next one. This is Tip from the Stupid Gardener. God bless everybody. Take care.